Hello and welcome back. We're going to look at a number of things this week. Firstly, we're going to get the Hiawatha back to the station, but we're going to have to take her through points 5 and then through number 10, across the diamond crossing there, back onto the inside line. That's a lot of wheels across quite a lot of point work. So whilst they come through there, we're then going to have a look at the blue industrial locomotive we had on the layout a few weeks ago, and a variation that's cropped up on that I've recently acquired. And then I made a visit to the Blyth and Tyne Model Railway Society club room the other weekend, the 8th of December. They had like an open day exhibition where everybody could come in, or anybody should I say, could come in and have a look at what they get up to there. Now we've just got a gentle stop there, and then we'll see if we can just back that up a little bit and take advantage of the uncoupling ramp. There we go, a little bit of a jerk going backwards. Nicely separated, I think, that. And off we go. We're going to bring that through points number 8 there, backwards. And we're going to hook up with some very colourful hopper wagons in a moment. So it was a great look around their club room, and then we're going to have a look at a handful of items which I acquired whilst I was there. And then the Hiawatha just stopping there. We'll open points number 5 again, and then we'll run through those, gentle stop afterwards, and we'll switch those again, and then we'll roll back and pick up those colourful hopper wagons. That's quite a connection there, isn't it? I've definitely got those. And off we go into the distance. Now we're going to bring these gently to a stop just before we get up to the industrial locomotive with the blue and yellow coaches. Smoothly round there, slowing it down. We'll stop it just before the isolating rail, number 4B. There we go. Lights changed, and off goes the train, clambering through the points, and we'll switch those behind them as they go. Just before we have a look at the video from the clubroom exhibition, we'll just have a look at this locomotive again. And we saw it in a video a few weeks ago, and I'll leave a link to that if you'd like to have a look at that. Now, I mentioned in there that this locomotive was available with yellow lining rather than this gold lining. And I also mentioned how crude I thought this printing was at the time, I think. Look at that crest on there. It really is sort of blurry, isn't it? Now, I have managed to get, in the meantime, the other variant with yellow lining on it, and the printing is a little better. If we have a look at the two side by side there, it's still not the sharpest of printing, is it? But I think it does look a little bit more definition in there, I think. So we'll just pop this one down, and I think this variant here is a closer match to the coaches I have. I'm not sure whether the coaches are available with gold printing, but these definitely look yellow, which is probably a nicer match for that engine, isn't it? So this one came unboxed, whereas the version I already have does have its box and paperwork. So I believe these were available 76 through till 79, although I'm not sure which order the gold and the yellow printing appeared. So we'll just pop that down, and there it is, the Rural Rambler set there. Now they first appeared in 76, this little engine in this set, and then later in 77 these items were available separately. So I've got the 77 catalogue here. I think we'll just leave it down here and have a quick look over it. A number of people have mentioned they'd like to see more of it, but it's quite an extensive catalogue. There's a lot of pages, unlike the early 60s catalogues, which are just a handful of pages. I think this one runs down to, what have we got there, 63 pages, so that's quite a lot of information to look through. So we'll just leaf through it rather quickly, and we'll have a look over it. So there's some terrific photography in here. They're really putting a lot of effort into production by this time. Look at those wonderful cranes there, aren't they? A car flat there with some white cars. I'm not sure what type of vehicles those are. Lovely looking things though in that colour. I'm not familiar with that crane either. We'll pop that down. Seems to be in a new item for 77. gravity unloading bridge. That's just what we would need with those hopper type wagons we've got on the layout, those colourful ones from the Transcontinental range. And then this mail coach here, painted in B.R. corporate livery, comes from the old Tyne Transcontinental range from the early 60s. It was available in a number of colours as well. Got another life in the 70s. Some interesting looking buildings, perhaps a bit European style, this sort of town hall building, isn't it? Possibly American style low-rise buildings here. I remember looking at these images endlessly as a child. They really are terrific, aren't they? I think how your imagination runs and what you could do if you had these things. Great red engine on the turntable there. So lovely, lovely bit of catalogue. And many people have mentioned in the comments when I showed this as part of the HST video the other week that they remember the catalogue very well. A classic picture to support the station buildings there. So terrific, really. And father and son working on the layout. Oh, there's the rural ramble set there coming through the pine trees. There we go, layout a little bit earlier in its construction. The old power control systems. I've never used any of these. I don't know quite what they're like. I haven't come across one yet myself. Plenty of these switches though. Sort of a love-hate relationship with those. I've never had one of those. I always thought that was quite interesting, but I suppose this is superseded now by software for computers. You can make your layout and play with different combinations with that, but very interesting idea, that. Sort of track plans. I love this sort of black and white imagery of the track there. I think that's really quite strong. Underlay. Again, the track geometry, really very strong pages, these. And there, 70s wagons, mid-70s wagons. We'll see a few more of those when we've seen the clubroom exhibition videos that I made the other day. I've begun to get some of these items. Again, some lovely coaches. New range of coaches here coming up in the mid-70s in regional variations here. So I believe they shared a lot of common parts. So just like the Triang's earlier variant on the coaches, which I believe these were the last year, the chassis and the wheels. Sometimes the roofs were the same on each coach. So another very economical design. I can't quite get the words out. So there is rather a lot of this, isn't there? That's a beautiful page as well. So we'll just flick through. There's that wonderful image there of the old HST. And looking at that, I've looked at it quite closely. I was wondering whether that's possibly even the proving model. It doesn't look quite like the production model. If you have a look closely, if you've got a copy of the catalogue, have a look and see what you think. So we'll flip over again. Some lovely locomotives there. And I think they kept playing with the liveries of the Flying Scotsman, the Albert Hall, shiny, maybe a matte version, waxy plastic, and a B12 there with NE on the tender. It's a lovely coronation there. I did recently get one of these. I haven't got around to looking at it in the video, and I was always, having looked at these pictures for years, quite disappointed. It's not shiny. It seems to be quite a matte finish. Lovely picture of the Evening Star there. I'm sure we all remember my video where I got the information wrong about the centre wheel. I've got this set as well. We must have a look at this set for a video. It's got an interesting number of items. Some of the signals are damaged and there's a part of the station missing, which I think I can probably replace. Got the cardboard tunnel though, which is important. So they've spent a lot of time setting these up. They really are quite terrific images. Rural Rambler there, a horse and cart in the scenery. Children playing with their new train sets there. There's the coronation again, looking very, very shiny in the imagery there. And then that very iconic image we all remember there. But I think we should have a look at the video from the clubroom exhibition North Shields. It was these images were taken in the beginning part of December, and it was a really good afternoon.
And that's the food truck.
So as well as having a great afternoon looking around the work being done by the Model Railway Club, there was a few items which caught my eye for sale. There was one of these lovely cement wagons, 564, I believe these were available, 66 to 71. This is in fairly nice condition. I've got a number of these already, but I was thinking we could make up a slightly longer rake of them. Box is in fairly tidy condition. You just pull out the little plastic tray. There we go, lovely box. We'll just pop that down there and we'll pop it out of the tray. There we go. I think we've seen these before in a video earlier in the year perhaps. And nice sort of blue circle bulk cement sticker there, just a paper sticker stuck on there, very often missing. Triangle on the bottom of it, look, pinpoint axles, quite coarse plastic wheels. I was quite pleased to get that. Of course it later went on to be yellow, and in the bright period in the Hornby Railway's early 70s time. So we'll just pop that down for a moment. And then a United Dairies wagon, a later version of the one I picked up at the show in Heaton a couple of weeks ago or so. 007 United Dairies tank wagon. You see that original price there, £1.54. So it's been knocking around on sales tables for some time, I think. So we'll pop that out. And there's an extra cardboard flap in there. Again, the box is not too bad. It's been knocking around on sales stands, as I've said, for quite some time by the looks of it. But the wagon looks to be in fairly tidy condition. A little mark on it there, I think that might rub off. Silver seal wheels, which don't seem to have done too much work at all. So I believe this replaced the earlier sort of Triang model R15 or RO15 in the late Triang Hornby period. And a slightly more detailed model with these sort of wire cables running down the side and the ladders, and the black cap there. Fairly pretty thing. We'll have to look at the United Dairies wagons all together at some point. We'll pop that down there. And then this is the first one of these. I've got a slightly later Esso tanker on this sort of newer chassis, and that's R008. So this was available 76 to 81. This newer style United Dairies wagon, 76, 81-ish as well, I think. That sort of time period, not 100% on that, but definitely late 70s, early 80s. I believe that this went on to be made up with a paint finish. We'll just pop this down. So this is a grey plastic with a sticker for the Esso sign on the side. And I believe later it was sprayed up in grey with a sprayed up logo on it and everything. So I think that got a different model number at that point. Again, nice shiny silver seal wheels. Doesn't seem to have done too much work in its life. So we'll just pop that down to one side. And here we've got this, what's theoretically a special edition Pugh & Co. coal wagon by Hornby Railways. Now these were made in the late 70s, early 80s, and they were given away, I think, if you bought locomotives from your dealer of a certain value, I think. Now there were two of these, so it seemed daft to leave them there. So I got the pair. They weren't terribly much. So we'll just get the one out of the box. So I believe these are a spray painted finish, and silver seal wheels again. A slightly different design to the earlier ones we saw. They've got a round axle section, whereas these ones have a sort of square section, I notice. But still quite pretty things. A lot of printing going on here, isn't there? It's become very, very intricate. Obviously with the changes of technology, they can put more information and finer detail on the wagons. We'll pop that down as well. And then there was these coaches. Again, there was a pair of them, and it seemed daft not to have both of them. And I believe I've got one of these already, but I haven't dug it out yet, so it seemed nice to have three of them. R213 four-wheel G.W.R livery coach. So we'll just pop that out of the box. I think these were available over a number of years, possibly made in different batches. This one has white wool wheels, or white rimmed wheels. I believe these coaches were made between 78 and 83, and the later production, 82, 83, perhaps had these white rims. Fairly pretty things. That's the G.W.R version of the blue variants, the Somerset and Dorset variants we saw earlier when we had the Industrial Locomotive out. But seemed daft to leave them behind, so we'll try and get this on the railway with the other one when I dig it out of the box. We'll get this one and the buried one out. But I think that's probably it. Thanks again for watching. It's hugely appreciated. If you look back again next time, we'll have something else from the range to look at. Goodbye now.